Hello, hello, hello. This is Tamarina Sims, and today I take you along how I set up a family for gameplay. The family I am introducing today is the famous Landgraab family, though I'm not talking about Malcome IV from Blue Water Village, but it is indeed his ancestors I'm setting up. The Landgraab family tree from The Sims 2 starts with Malcome II, and this doesn't make any sense to me, though I created Malcome I based on the genetics of Malcome II, and I also created him a wife also a bit influenced by the genetics of Malcome II. And those two Sims made Malcome II and create a Sim. And of course, Malcome II will also be married with his wife Marion, and their child or children will be born through gameplay. I recorded live how I set up this family, how I choose careers, education, skills and age. For this family it was kind of a process, though I'm happy how they turned out. Of course, I read all about the lore of this special family and I want to incorporate as much of it as possible. Though this first and second generation aren't wealthy yet, though Malcome I was able to afford a nice house and furniture for his family, and still they aren't that rich. But the goal is obviously to get there. We are starting with generation 1 and 2 and are trying to build a dynasty. I need to decide what kind of business this family will build up, though they will start in careers first. Maybe you have some ideas? Let me know in the comments. This family is entering the Great Depression and some years later World War II is taking place, which gave the economy a boost through productions of war goods, which can't be 100% simulated but a possibility. Though I still have time to think about that. I will now let you watch the setup, and next video we will play through the years 1924 till 1930 with this family. The house is done. We have left 306 millions, which is quite low for the Landgraab family. But hear me out. This Landgraab family didn't start with a huge amount of money. I gave them some because of the renovation. They were able to afford this house by itself, so it was round about 33,000, and they had from the start 35,000. So, and I gave them twice 20k, so they got 40k from me. This very first Malcome Landgraab. I read about a humble school teacher named Gregory Landgraab, and this was a humble school teacher who came to money by a great deal. So this is of course not Gregory Landgraab, but we don't know what was in the past, so it might be that this Malcome Landgraab or this Gregory Landgraab changed his name to Malcome. That might be. I don't know. But we are in the part where we are starting to create a story about the Landgraabs, and we have two generations here. Generation 1 with Malcome and his wife, which has the name Martha. I think she's quite stunning. Really beautiful for an old lady. So I needed to create a name for this lady. And I saw that Malcome II is married to Marion, and Malcome III is married to Margaret. So both names start with M-A-R, and that is why I decided to give her the name of Martha. So we are in the part where we are setting up those 4 Sims. They already have a family tree. Malcome Landgraab and Martha Landgraab together have Malcome II Landgraab, and he is married to Marion Landgraab. And before we start hitting play and getting to know those Sims better, their hobbies, etc., we need to set them up. And I can see, she has a low relationship with her daughter-in-law, only 11 to 11, and this old Malcome is of course attracted to his daughter-in-law. Oh no. Yeah, of course, both women, Martha and Marion, are both blonde, because I decided that the blonde genes are running through the family and the red genes. So Malcome II is a redhead, if you are looking it up through the Sims wiki. So Malcome, what's your relationship with your parents? A little bit better with his father than with his mother. However, I think the older Malcome is working, or has been working in the education career, or is still employed there. I will let him be still employed there. And I think he's pretty strict, especially some problems about society and who should be taught at school. And I'm raising here the topic of racial segregation, because that is the time where it is existing in the society. So, and I think he is more strict about that, and this Malcome II is a little bit more modest, and he is a younger teacher. He followed his father in his footsteps. However, I think he has other thoughts about who should be taught and who not. I think he is okay that people with dark skin color should be taught. However, this is his thoughts and his opinions, but this is not the only way I want to go with this family. I need some chance cards to happen, actually, for this family, so we can probably set them up to be the Landgraab dynasty. However, right now they are working in the education career, and I will set that up in a minute. And I think these 2 women, Martha isn't working, I guess, and Marion, I really like the Landgraab family that I created. And Marion, she wants to have a job. Yeah, I gave her the fortune aspiration because Marion, according to Sims Wiki, had the fortune aspiration, is a Libra. I gave her that. And what else? I was really fast with her because according to the Sims Wiki, her face is the first cast face. However, the brows should be thinner and the nose more down, and this is exactly what I did. And according to Sims Wiki, she wanted to become a criminal mastermind. Let's see. Become the law. Oh goodness, I could totally see that she would work in a lawyer's office. I think she's educated. She comes from this town, and we already know that women in the 1920s, 1930s, it depends on the school and the country you're living in. However, it was common to accept women in university. So I think she is educated. And I do have to say, Moonlight Falls is a more modern community. Like, I think bigger cities are always more modern, more future looking, and I think it's common for women to work and to have studied. Okay, So I show you my spreadsheet and I show you the family tree first. Okay, I can, at this point, I can tell that I'm planning to introduce the Buckingham family as well. They will probably live next door. They will start in their own generation too. So it is a little bit from the timeline. It's different than it is in Pleasantview. In Pleasantview, where most adults are in generation 1. However, this Buckingham family and Malcome II and his wife Marion are generation 2. So it's different, but I'm planning to have Moonlight Falls as the hood where all additional Sims are going to live from Pleasantview. So this neighborhood will be a little bit more populated. However, I decided to get the Malcome family, the Landgraab family, into this game, especially because of Frida Goth. Okay, this is Frida Goth. She's not born yet, but I hope she will be born soon in Pleasantview. Right now, her sibling should be Gunther, and Gunther is already born yet. I think he's a toddler right now. So I will force Gretel to get another child as soon as possible, of course. And Frida's story, and that is why I actually decided to add Moonlight Falls to Pleasantview and create my own one. I tried to find something similar to The Sims 3, but it wasn't really working, so I was more looking something that is near the water, waterish, has bridges, etc., etc. So this is an alternate universe I'm creating. So my Moonlight Falls is a bigger city, not just a little small spreaded rural community. So, and Frida in The Sims 3 is living with her uncle Samuel Goth and his wife Helen Hall. They moved to Moonlight Falls because Frida moved in with Samuel after her family tried to force her into marrying a Landgraab, and consequently had a reluctant falling out with her brother Gunther. So I think the story here is that her family is more or less forcing her, and I will explain in a future video why. I have some ideas about that. I think they will meet the Landgraabs, and therefore there is a coincidence that, oh, you have a boy, we have a girl, why not setting it up for marriage? Maybe, something like that. Not really forcing, but both families are maybe really happy about the idea that those two kids might marry one day. And Frida, I think she has her own mind, and she's not happy about that. Maybe. So this is a story for another day, but this is why. And Samuel, it's not written down here, but if you are looking up Samuel Goth's story, you will see that he and his brother will fight about something or argue about something. Yeah, they will split up. And I have a story about that already in my head, saved for later. So this is why I decided to involve the Landgraab family so we can have the story. We can't see Malcome I and his wife Martha here because they don't exist in the Sims 2 universe. And I just created them because I wanted a little bit more of family dynamic, and it would make more sense to have Malcome I. I haven't written it down in his name that he is the first, he's just Malcome Landgraab. Okay, so the idea is that our younger Malcome II and his younger wife Marion will have Malcome III, and of course we need the Buckinghams for that he might marry Margaret after he was left by Frida. Maybe both of them didn't want to. Who knows? And both might have a son, Malcome IV. Maybe, maybe not. We will see. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet. I have already written down their aspirations. And I think Martha is the only family sim right now. I think she comes more from a family-oriented kind of lifestyle. And Malcome, I think he always wanted money, and he didn't have it at first, but he wants to have a successful family. He wants to have a success in his career, and I think we will give him that. And we need to look up their ages, give them a secondary aspiration. We need to look up their lifetime ones. Hobbies, I think it's okay that we are discovering them. Maybe I will look them up. Yeah, I will look them up. Maybe that's better. We will give them a degree and jobs. Yeah, this is additional info if I want to write something down. I have already written down their genetics. So we have 3 light-skinned people and 1 tan. We need... the thing is that Malcome Landgraab IV has a medium skin tone. And we know that a range of skin tones can be chosen. However, this is only possible if he is his mother. I think she has the second skin tone, yeah, the tan one. So this is a question we might think of, why he has a medium dark skin tone. Don't know. But his family tree shows it that there is nothing darker than medium. Okay, so enough of that. We are now thinking about these people, and I will give him a job in the education career, and we need to decide which level. So, The Sims 2 Seasons. Oh yeah, I was looking up the chance cards because we need them. However, my story is, you already saw a new building that I did for Moonlight Falls because we will need that in the near future. Carl Rackburn is currently the oldest Pleasantview child, and he will grow up, I think, in 3 days or sim years into a teenager. However, I won't play with a single teenager in the high school, but you know, soon we will need this lot. Okay, so I was thinking, because Malcome II, he will be on level 5, so he will be a high school teacher, so I will give him level 5 so he can move up. And his father, I have the idea that his father is the administrator that also is looking after Pleasantview. So this is somewhat an additional task he has in his job, in my opinion. So he's the main administrator. He might have some secretaries or other people around him who do most of the talking with Simon Crumblebottom, if it's just an idea. However, I would really like him to be the education minister. So he's not the highest person in town, but he was able to step up, make some money, to bring in ideas, to really climb up the career ladder. And he did do a lot of work for that. Maybe education minister or college dean of students. That could be also really interesting. I think this is quite big. So let me see what kind of... Yeah, I will make him the education minister. Yeah, I think this is the best we can do right now. Martha, I think she won't have a job. And Marion, we already saw she wants to become the law. Lifetime want. What is it? Law 10. Okay, so let's look it up. What can we give her Sims to the law career track, okay? In my opinion, she could be a legal secretary or law firm receptionist. I think Marion comes from a good family, and after her degree she liked the idea of working at lawyer's office, and her father had some connections. Otherwise you wouldn't maybe get into an office like that. So I think she would be legal secretary. However, this effortlessly juggle telephone calls, she could do that as well. Or we put her law firm receptionist and she has to work her way up. Or she gets level 1. No, I want this family to gain money. They need to start. Yeah, I will give her a degree in political science. I just write politics, and we will see where she starts at. So what is with the others? Which kind of education do you need? Biology or psychology? I think you can study everything, but however, I think psychology is also really good. I think Malcome II might have studied history. I think that's good for a high school teacher. And his mother, do we give her an education? I think she wouldn't have studied. I think she comes from probably the same smaller town, smaller space, a place where Malcome Landgraab is coming from. However, Malcome left this place, this settlement, to study, to work hard while studying. I think he had to do a lot, to put in a lot of effort to afford to study, and he asked Martha to wait for him until he would come back. And he did come back with a degree and a good job here in Moonlight Falls, and this is why they moved here. And he really put in more effort and he became the education minister. Okay, so let's start giving them what they need. And I will put up the visitor controller because yeah, we have some plans for this hood. So first things first, ban non-locals and ban critters. Of course, I think maybe stray cats. Ooh, I don't know. No, we are banning them. It might be that there are stray cats here and stray dogs, but it won't be visible on that lot, okay? We said he would have studied psychology. Malcome II would have studied, what was it, history. Oh, he could also have studied literature. Okay, I changed it to literature. And she studied, what was it? Politics. So this is changing. Upgrade some political science. Wonderful. So she's the only one. Ooh, get a grandchild. Of course you can have that. Maybe we add, yeah, I will add probably once. Add one slot. Add a one slot. I think she's older, she's wiser, so she has experience, so she has more one slots. Even though she didn't study. I think that's okay. First things first, what do you want in life? Reach maximum long-term aspiration. I think that's fine. Max LTA. Martha, what is your goal in life? Marry off 6 children. I'm so sorry. So this is, I'm shortened that, so you know. And Malcome II, what is your earn 100,000? You see, there is something behind that man. He's now nicer, and I think later on in life he will be more focused. Okay, so these are their lifetime ones. To the second aspirations, we will we will come. I think we can look up their hobbies for now. It was here. So, Malcome, the one hobby, sports. He is straight, that is good. So his hobby is sports. And of course, baseball. Moonlight Falls is a baseball city. Martha, what is your... No, Martha. Hobbies, one hobby. Nature. Oh, how lucky we haven't filled up the garden yet. Yeah, I can totally see that, because she is from a more rural place. So of course she's straight, but she is a nature sim. Malcome II, what is your sports? Yeah, I can see that. And of course straight. Nature, sports. And Marion, arts. I can totally see that. I think she loves the big city life and she wants to get up in her career probably a little bit, but also maybe having some children. But she wants to have a nice looking house, and she is probably a sim who wants to go out and meeting all of those people and visiting those beautiful lots here in the city that are not added yet. But maybe I will download a museum, an art museum or something. So of course she is straight. Sports, of course, baseball. I think this is running in the family. We will see how the nature hobby will take place and how the art hobby will take place. It could be viewing. Viewing is really a good fun activity. Fun is getting up that really fast. And nature, I can see her having maybe trees, apple trees. I don't see her really into gardening, or maybe just having nature around her. So like she's planting flowers and bushes. Yeah, I think this is a good idea. I will write down flowers. I think she's into viewing. Yeah. Okay, so that is done. We need to give them the careers. Okay, so... Oh, wait, they don't have skills. We will give them skills first. There is something that is not really accurate. I will probably get rid of it. However, his wife is a cooking 10. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, mechanical. Maybe she is the one who likes to repair broken objects as well. As far as she can. Malcome II, no experience in cooking or mechanical, body or logic. Logic, really? I'm not sure about that, but this is interesting how it's randomizing it. And Marion, 3 in cooking, I think that makes sense. Ooh, body level 8. I can see that a little bit. And logic, yeah, cleaning. Okay, let's give them the jobs, and if there is anything too much, we can get rid of it. So, give me education. Level 4, take the job. Adult career, education. Level 3, Marion. No. Adult career, law. She gets a level 4? That's insane. Legal biller. We are taking the job for now. Let's see. It was here, right? And I think this is the highest she would get. I mean, she's still a woman. And I think that in this time area, it's not common that women are right up in the legal career or be lawyers themselves. I mean, this could be a possibility, paralegal, working on important cases behind the scenes. That could be it. But as soon as she gets into contact with the court, I don't think she would be like that. To be honest, she is pretty, you know, and her father had some contacts. I think because she is a beautiful young woman and a lawyer would be very happy about the fact that a young woman is greeting his clients, that would, yeah, make his office sparkly. Something like that. She will be the law firm receptionist, and I think she is that good that she will be soon promoted to legal secretary. So I will give her level 2. Careers set level to level 2. I'm really sorry. Careers set level to level 5, level 10. Okay, that worked. They all need to go to work soon. The careers are set. We know their hobbies, their lifetime ones. I think it suits them really good. Secondary aspiration, I think, is the next one. I see Malcome. I think he has skills. He can really talk to people and make connections. And this is why he got so successful in life, I think. So I really think he started as a little small teacher and he made his way up. He had some ideas. He started, or he got bigger in that business. So, and he made really good friends. Yeah, I think it makes sense to make him a popularity sim. His wife, though, I see her as a true family sim through and through. However, it would be nice to give her more depth. I don't see her as a romance sim, no. Popularity, I think she's not like her husband. They have something in common. I think it is the fact that she was a stunning beauty and she was the it girl at the place they started. You know, where they lived, where they teens, and it was more or less like they did go to school and both were, how do you say that? High school lovebirds? Do you say that? I don't know. So they started their relationship pretty soon. And for Malcome, it was really important to be someone, to be successful. So, and Martha is more, I think she's more of the shyer side. What could we give her? I will look that up in a minute. Maybe knowledge. I don't know. Okay, Malcome II. I really don't want him. To be honest, Malcome I is a clone of Malcome II. From the zodiac sign, from the genetics. I made it so they are not really different, so they are more or less alike. We only had genetics and personality from Malcome II, so I needed to come up with something for Malcome I, you know. It might confuse us, me especially, to say Malcome and Malcome II, and then there will be Malcome III and later on Malcome IV. This will confuse me, I tell you that right now, so we need to have nicknames for them. Otherwise I will be... It's driving me insane right now. Okay, Malcome II. Maybe knowledge. Fortune knowledge. I can see him as a knowledge sim. And Marion. I think she is popularity. Let's look that up. Let's look that up. So what is possible? She could also be a romance sim, but she could be secretly a family sim. However, it's not important that they are having a big family. I will roll a die and see what comes out of it. However, I will skip pleasure and grilled cheese because this doesn't make any sense. However, pleasure could work. 6. Just 6. I need to reroll. 2. Romance. She could have an affair with her boss. A boss that is not existing in this town right now. I think she is a type who likes the nightlife, who wants to go out with Malcome II, who wants to have fun. I see her more as a pleasure sim. However, pleasure sims are ridiculous in this game. I give her the romance sim aspiration, yes. Maybe I get those 3-2 traits, the hopeless romantic one. I have that in my private save, so she wouldn't roll ones to, you know, cheat. Okay, and for my personal gameplay, it is really necessary to give those. Okay, romance it is. Malcome we also already set to popularity. However, he needs this point, but I like those as well. So we are working on that. Popularity, okay. Malcome II, I think he is a secondary knowledge. Fortune knowledge, yeah. I think that makes sense. So we're updating that. Knowledge. And it is Martha left. And yeah, she is... You know what? I think she is a family sim through and through. I won't give her a secondary aspiration. I think she was always like that. She isn't looking for money. She isn't looking for pleasure. She isn't looking for knowledge or love or friends. So I really see her as a real family sim. She doesn't need anything else. So I give her those points. And for her, it is important to have the grandma's comfort soup, and the slow and neat decay is always welcome. Well, okay, so she doesn't have one. We are now at the point where we need to decide the ages of the Sims. So this is my ages tab. And as you can see, it's filled out with all the Pleasantview Sims. That gives me an idea how old they are. And I can see we have played 1929 and every family is played. So this is the main structure. So Bruno Rockburn is the oldest of all adult Sims, and he's getting older. I will explain what it has to do with those, but not right now. It's not important for generation 1. And this is generation 2. This is all the kids that were born, and as you can see, we have 2 toddlers. No, not toddlers. All of them are toddlers right now, and right now we don't have any existing baby. However, we have 2 pregnant Sims and 2 needs to get pregnant. So we need to decide how old people are. And I said Malcome and Martha were some high school sweethearts. This was the word I was looking for. Personally, I think they are maybe the same age. Otherwise, maybe Malcome is 1 or 2 years older. In Pleasantview, I made it that man to a woman can be a maximum of 4 days older than her. Would that make sense here? Otherwise, we could keep it and leave them in this life stage. Do I make him 1 or 2 years older or the same age? Would she have waited for him? He did go to college. He worked his way up. So she was waiting for him. At the point of 1930, we are in the year 1930, I would say he is a maximum of 4 days older than him. I won't roll that, otherwise we would have only 1, 2 or 3. But for the story, I think he is 4 years older than her. They met at school, and he was the one who told her, I will marry you when I come back. And I come back as a man who is educated and has a job, and I can provide for our family. I think this is what he did. So, 4 years older, that makes him 57. Okay, I figured it out. And I have already written them down. So, I have rolled a die how much older a husband is to his spouse, to his wife. So, I rolled, I decided for Malcome, I decided he is 4 years older. So, in 1930. This is important. We need to play until 1930. Right now it is not 1930, but in 1930 he will become 57 years old. In 1930 Martha will become 53 23 years old. Malcome II, he's at the end of this row. He will be 32 and his wife is 6 years younger. And that's because of the die roll. But I think it makes sense. She will be 26 and I rolled a die for her. How much older she will be according to 25 in 1930. And she rolled a number 1, so she will be 1 year older in 1930. So hear me out. That makes a total of 7 years we have to play, because Malcome II is 6 years older than Marion, and Marion is 1 day older than 25 in 1930. That makes a total of 7 years we need to play them. That makes it so that Marion is actually 19 years old right now. I think it makes somewhat sense, but I want the ages to be correct in my game. So that makes it so we are starting right now in 1924. And to make it happen that the ages are correct, I have already figured out after which day I have to reset a sim to the beginning of his lifespan so he can age after that normally, if that makes sense. However, we will start gameplay soon, so you will see what I'm after. We need to write down their ages. So I said, and Marion can become pregnant at this time. Okay, 57, 53, 32 and 26. So this will be the status for 1930. This spreadsheet is already filled out, but as you can see we have a rotation spreadsheet especially for Moonlight Falls, because my rotation spreadsheet for Pleasantview will be filled up. So very soon, you know. And we are starting with 1930, but we have to play until we get there. And the first families will be the Landgraab and the Buckingham family. And afterwards, every additional sim will leave Pleasantview because I don't want it to be too crowded. Will join here. And for this side, or for this special town, I will probably not really follow a schedule. Yeah, you can tell me if you are interested in to follow along with the Landgraabs, the Buckinghams and the additional sims. Maybe in an extra video server. That might be the best, I think, to, you know, to have a Pleasantview video and a Moonlight Falls video maybe someday. Not yet. This is not correct. I just left that. The gender needed is a boy on the right. And the gender needed here is a girl. I think we can start to get to know these sims and to see what they are up to and stuff. Do we keep that? Why not? We can have it here, so it's an additional decoration. This can go. And I don't think we need the visitor controller, but I will keep it here for now. This room is so empty, I'm not sure what I will do with this room. And this will be the nursery one day. Okay, so we will hit play and send everybody to work. However, one thing, the job stopinator. Oh yeah, I wanted to have a look at their skills, if it is too much. I think for him it's good, but I don't see him that much in cooking. So I will put that down to 2. I think he's good in logic. I will bump that up to level 7. And I think he's good in charisma. I will bump that up to level 6. Yeah, body can be bumped up, down a little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit creative, I think. But cleaning, no. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. That makes more sense for him. For Martha, I think the skills are pretty fine. She doesn't have a job. Maybe I give her the leadership career. It depends if she is rolling a career wand. I don't know yet. And this little high school teacher. I think I will bump cleaning down to 3. However, I think he has 2 logic skill points. And charisma, I can totally see that he is up there. And creative. Yeah, I think this is good. This is good. And for Marion, she is probably really high skilled, so she will reach promotion soon. I don't see her as good in cleaning. I give her 1 point, and logic is pretty much too much. I think it's too much. Body probably as well. I bumped that down a little bit, maybe 5. I think we will give her something where she can train, maybe a ballet bar. They need to make money first. Mechanical, I don't see why she would have that much in mechanical. Maybe an additional charisma point. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. So she can have a promotion soon. Okay, what I like to do is slow the speed. I will do that to 50%. We didn't need to change any lifetime wand. Let's start and hit play.